YouTubers, Tasman here, bringing you another episode of Foundry Virtual Tabletop version 12 from the ground up. Whew, that is a mouthful. So in our last episode, we started going through the GM view after talking about what the players actually can see. And we got through, I believe we did tiles and drawings, and now we're on wall controls. And this is where Foundry really has some good features, and you know, it's kind of the meat of what your players will experience. I guess the player experience. So let's go ahead and begin. Usually I have it here so you can see what version we're actually on. Still on Foundry 12 stable build 331. Simple World Building 082, and we only have one module active. I was thinking about activating another one just for the, like, there's this one, Dice So Nice and Dice Tray. But all that really does is render 3D dice on the table, and I don't think we need that after all. But what we're going to do in this episode, hopefully we'll get the walls and the lights. This might only be the walls because if you go in here, you'll see there is a lot of stuff here, just raw for the walls. And we're going to kind of talk a little bit about all of them. It's not going to be an extreme in-depth of every little bell and whistle. I'll leave some of that for you guys to discover yourselves. But let's go ahead and begin. So what I like to do, what we're going to do is we're going to put walls and doors and windows and secret passages, or actually, do I have secret passages in? I don't remember if I made secret passages in here, but we're going to have terrain walls and stuff like that, just so you can see what they actually do and get more of an idea of how they work. And I'm just going to unpause it so we don't have that guy floating in the center. All right, so here in the walls, once again, almost everything at the very top has the selection. And like I've said before, lots of their little options have these awesome little animations that will show you how that feature works, and all the different things where you can move it by dragging it, you can select multiple by shift clicking, you can move without snapping by holding shift, which is the same with almost everything else. If I'm moving a token and I do hold shift in, it won't snap it into the grid, so you can actually put things, you know, so they actually look like they're on stools that maybe are in the middle of a tile or something, or not a tile, a grid square. And then to double click to edit, all that fun stuff. So these tooltips are really good. Sometimes they're a little annoying when I'm just trying to mouse over stuff and they keep popping up, but all in all, they're great. So the first one here is your regular walls, or your basic walls. And basically they stop movement, they stop sight, as you can see, and they also stop sound. Now there is options in version 12 where you can actually muffle the sound. So behind like a door or something like that, you can actually muffle the sound, so it just sounds like it's going through a closed door, and then when you open up the door, you actually can hear the sound. And we'll probably deal with that. I'll have to remember to turn on my audio, system audio, when I do that part. Otherwise, you guys won't hear anything. But let's go ahead and jump right in and start doing our walls. So our tavern here, our little inn, whatever it is, our spooky cave. We're just going to put our outside walls. We're going to actually have some walls kind of being this chimney here. But mostly we're looking just on the outside. So with the wall tool selected, all you have to do is simply start dragging and dropping your walls. So like if we want one here, we just kind of drag it and drop it there. And you'll see it's not snapping exactly to the grid. If I zoom in, I'm on the grid line and it will snap to it. But you'll also notice it's snapping in increments, like a microgrid inside of that. So you can actually get some really fine stuff. And then once again, if you hold down the shift, you can literally place it anywhere. If I hold down control, it will actually continue this wall. So I'm holding control right now, and if I let go of this wall, well, actually, I already drew that wall, but I'm going to hold control on this wall. I'm not holding control now. I am, oh, whoops. I am drawing a wall, and now I'm going to hold control, and what it will do is from where I'm leaving off here, it will start a new one, and another new one, and another new one. So you can kind of get, you know, walls to go, and then right here I'm not going to hold control anymore, and it will kind of complete that. There are modules that will actually make it so walls connect, the endpoints will connect. So if I end up moving this guy, it will move the other one with it. I think you can actually highlight it like this and then drag it. No, that just drags the whole wall section. I'm trying to think the name of it's either monks, something monks walls. I love a lot of the monk tools and stuff, or another one, and we'll actually go over that at a later date. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just kind of drag this guy. Let's see, can we? Yep, right to there. We have a window right here. I'm gonna kind of zoom out so that we can just get a single wall all the way. If you don't have a very powerful computer, you probably want to not draw 1,000 walls, like do perfect circles, like with a million little walls just drawn around that or something like that. You'll want to kind of just be more quick walls, you know, as straight as you can get them. So as you can see here, we have our walls there. Now another thing is since I didn't do that, if I try and drag a wall here, it actually thinks I'm going to be selecting this one. So if I hold control when I click on that one, it actually will start a new wall instead of trying to drag that. So for example, I'll just show you what I mean. I just held control when I moused over that one. Right now I don't have anything. I want to draw a new wall. If I just mouse over this, it thinks I'm going to move that wall. If I hold control and I click on that, it'll actually start drawing a new wall. So that, whoops, and I held down control. Right click will get rid of your last wall. So how I had that right here, if I'm holding control, so it's doing that and I'm like, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I can just simply right click and it will delete that one. Mousing over it, clicking it, and deleting it will obviously delete them as well. All right, so here we see they're not quite dead center in there, but that's okay. We do have our grid lines, so we can actually make these walls look good. Let's go ahead and move this so we can see a little better, and we'll start right around here and draw to right there. Come over here, we have a short wall. This is going to go into a door. I keep wanting to go click on a new wall thing, so we'll just go to there, we'll come here, we'll draw another wall to there, and then here we're going to draw it up to this chimney. And now one thing I would recommend doing is, like with this chimney, we're just going to put these kind of in the center so that if we ran the thing right up to the edge of the wall, you would not be able to see there's a wall there. I mean, you'd see that there's a line, but you wouldn't be able to see kind of the structure of the wall. I'm going to hold control. I'm going to go ahead and go up to roughly the middle-ish. I'm going to go here and down. And what this will do is, at least so now when I'm in here, I'll be able to see kind of the nice, that this is a different type of wall than that, I guess, is what I'm getting at. And then the other thing, sometimes you might get bleed through. Like this wall technically isn't quite close enough, so if I have a token here, it will actually let light through. So one thing you can also do is just kind of go over a little bit so that this wall is definitely intersecting that wall. It's gotten better where I don't see that quite as much, but in the past it was a little worse in that sense with older versions. So I'm going to hold control. Oops, that's going to take it from there. I forgot. Hold on. I'm going to right click real quick. I'm going to actually start it up here, and I'm just going to take it down to that. We'll see how it works. We'll have both examples right there. And then this will be our, I think this is the final wall. Yep. So those are our walls. Now that we placed walls, any wall we have, if we go back to selection mode, we can double click on a wall and we can get its stats. You know, this is the coordinates of this wall. This is a starting point right there. And this is the ending point right there. We can see what the movement restrictions are. So a normal wall is going to block movement. We can also say that there is no movement, which would change the type of wall this is to maybe an invisible wall that maybe you can't see through, but you can actually go into. So if we set it to none, the default wall is normal, 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 and the wall directions both. So that's the other thing we can do. We can make one-way walls so you can come through with a token, but you can't go back out. And once again, I don't think this version of Foundry, if I hit update, oh, it does now. So you can actually see that a token is allowed to go this way, but it can't go back. And if I can show you that, don't we have our token on here? I guess, did I delete it? I don't remember deleting it. I think it was Joseph the Great, right? So if we have Joseph the Great here, which I believe is our token. So as a GM, I can move him both ways. And that's one thing I want to show you. As GM, you don't have the same restrictions as your players will. But here we have our player, and you'll see the wall is blocking light. You can see that we don't actually have any kind of wall here, so the light's getting through. And you'll see that as a player, I can move Joseph, and I can't go through the wall this way, but if I come through this way, I can go through, but then I can't go back. I can only go through this wall one way. And it's kind of the opposite of what you think it's going to be. If we go back to the player, not this one, go back to walls, it kind of makes it look like that, okay, so I'm actually blocking going this way, which means I can go this way. So personally, I just think it'd be nice if it had the little arrow and it was the direction you could go. It's a little confusing to see. I mean, you can see it's actually got a mini wall here saying that it's blocked this way, but not that way. So if we go back into our wall again, we can say that left, right, or we could say both, and both is just going to be saying that we can't go through this wall, right? That's the default. Then we also have the proximity threshold. If we mouse over that, you can see the distance the perception can penetrate this wall is adaptive relative to the observer's position, and activation threshold only applies when a threshold is defined. This would be a window, and what that means is if I get near a window, and we'll be putting those in a minute, basically it will only show me through this close, and then the closer I get, it will actually show me a little further and a little further. And this kind of helps it so that, you know, if you have players that are walking around a building, they can't just see everything inside the entire building. This is a feature, I believe it was version 12 that was introduced, and it's actually a really cool one. I like it. If we go here, and then we have door configuration, if our wall was actually a door, and we could turn any wall into door. It's just these settings that set all the different things. So we can make it a door or a secret door. So a secret door obviously is not going to let the players see that there's any shape, way, or form of a door there. It'll look just like a regular wall. The GM will unlock it or open it, and then they will see that they can actually go through it. And I thought I was going to put a secret door in here somewhere. I'm looking at my picture that I took. We're going to actually add our own secret door in a little bit. What we'll do is we'll make it behind the logs here. We'll just put a secret door right there and show you how that works. All right, so there we go. That is our wall configurations. Like I said, pretty much if I make any changes to these walls, it will change the actual color of the wall because technically it's being something else other than wall direction. That won't actually change it. But if I change it so light can go through it and sight can go through it, then it might be considered an invisible wall, or it'll be an ethereal wall, or I think one of these is called the ethereal wall, or at least it used to be. I think it's that one. Yes, the ethereal wall. So that's your quick rundown of walls. Now it kind of looks like this door is really big. I guess these are really big doors. They almost look like they should be double doors. I mean, since a person is this big, they should be. I don't know, but that's okay. We'll make it. One of them will make a double door, just so you can see how you would do that. All right. So the next thing we're gonna do is the terrain walls. And what terrain walls are is they're kind of like walls, except for they're great because they block movement. However, they allow vision. So, for example, we're gonna do a very crude circle here on this table, just to represent our shape. I'm gonna hold Control. We're just gonna kind of put it here and there. It's not gonna be very perfect or symmetrical at all. But what I want to show you is what that actually does. And I did too many. All right, so what this will do is my player, which is now outside, we're going to go to token mode, and we're going to bring them in. What this allows you to do is you can see, we can actually see the entire table, however we can't see behind it. That will definitely be more relevant. Let me reset our lighting real quick. I think it's that one. Reset the fog of war. That'll make it very evident as far as what it does when we get into our player screen. So here you can see that, you know, I can actually see on the table, but I can't see through the table. Now, if I move my token and this token can't get onto the table, but if they were able to get on the table, they would be able to see out in all directions. So let's say this is a tree or something, and you wanted, like we have our big old tree out here. We could do this pretty good with that. Let's bring Joseph. Oh, Joseph's out here. We're in light mode. Let's get rid of Joseph in here. I forgot we brought him out here. So let's just kind of, we're going to do extra walls than what we normally would do here. But we're going to do, our environment walls, just to kind of show you more how it works with a tree, for example. So I'm going to go ahead and hold Control, and I'm just going to kind of start dragging this, and I'm going to follow the tree a little bit more. So this type of wall usually is kind of considered more of a terrain wall, and any time maybe that you would be able to see, you know, I don't know how to describe it, kind of inside the train, I guess. I don't know. All right, there we go. So if we go to Joseph now in our other mode here, you'll see he cannot see through this tree. Now, because he's on the GM screen, once I get inside the tree, actually, is this GM? I'm going to move him on. Oh, he's under the tree here. So you'll see once he's under the tree, he can actually see in every direction, like he's inside a tree and he's able to see it. So where you could use this is maybe like a tree stump to kind of show you that this is the tree stump. The other thing is there's a module that's really nice called wall height, which allows you to bring walls up and raise them up in the air, which would be perfect for a tree because its canopy's up higher and its trunk is in the middle. So in our example here, you know, we might have a regular wall or a trunk of this tree, and we'll just kind of draw a crude one kind of in the center area. Let me hold Control. It's got a pretty hefty little trunk here. And now I have to go back to him again. Now you'll see, no matter what, I can see through the tree, and sometimes we get a little weird the way the lighting works, but you can see in the center there's that trunk. And even if I move him as GM in here, he can't go through the trunk, and he can't see through the trunk no matter what. Even if I were to, I don't know, can I move him inside the trunk? There you go. Now he's inside the trunk. He's not going to be able to get out. He can't move in any direction. So that would be the two types of walls. And anytime you want them to be able to see more of the actual thing, but maybe not what's behind it. A lot of times I see this like with a tent. And you can only do so good. I mean, technically, if this were a tree, I would be able to see here, and then this would all be blacked out. However, that would be perfect if I could only look at the tree in one direction. If I were coming from the tree on this direction, then it would look really weird. So it's not perfect, but I don't know how on earth they would ever make it perfect. So let's go ahead back into our scene here, and we'll add a couple more of these terrain walls. So let's go ahead, terrain wall here. We'll go ahead and make it on the table. Technically, this is just things that you don't want players to go through, I guess. Probably a better way to say it. So if I move this guy back just a hair, right there. So like this table here, we have another table here we'll draw. This one's really going to kind of be weird, but that's okay. All right, and let's say we also want this bar to be kind of protected from people getting over the bar. However, we do have this part, which we're going to use doors for. Now, this is going to be kind of a tricky place because it's really kind of like if I did a secret door, there's not a wide secret door. Technically, I'd have to have a secret door there, but then we'd have weird vision here and stuff. Sometimes you just have to roll with it and just say, yeah, it's good enough. So let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna put a wall here and join it up to that wall, kind of right here. Go and join that up there. And let's see, I think, go ahead and move this down a tiny bit. There we go. And we'll do the same here. And here. Now, like I said, if we put a secret door in here, we're going to get all kinds of weird artifacts. But I kind of just want to show you how it works. But we're not to doors yet, and I'm trying to think of the best way. This would definitely work one way, but coming the opposite way is not going to be very pretty. All right, so we kind of got that. We have the exact same options. However, you'll see here with walls, I can just double click that guy. You'll see that now we have limited light restriction, limited sight, limited there, but we have normal movement. So now we have where you can actually have sight through it. But if this were a box, it wouldn't be able to go all the way, like going from a wall to a wall, it wouldn't do it. It doesn't necessarily have to be a box. Proximity is what it kind of uses for windows. Reverse proximity is the reverse of that. So the best thing I think we can do is go grab our guy up here and bring him in just to kind of show you how weird this is going to look. So here you can see he's able to come up here, but he's not able to see the opposite side of the bar, which is definitely not the intended purpose. So in this case, what we could do is change it so the vision is not blocked, right? So we go back in here to walls and just kind of experiment it where light restriction, sight restriction, maybe set them both to normal. Let's see if that will work. And maybe normal on this one as well. So light and sight, which I believe that means that they can just see, oh, technically that turned it into a wall. Hold on, let's see. Yes, normal. I didn't hit OK on this one. So limited, what other options? I guess none might be, although that sounds like it's no vision through it. No, that turned it more to a window. So maybe, and maybe we would prefer a window here, although sometimes, I don't know. Let's just experiment and see what we get. So let's do none and none and update the wall and see how that looks for our token now. So there we go. So now we're able to, you know, move up to the bar, but we can't go over it. The GM can move you here, but now we can't actually go back over this way. However, like I said, when we get down to the secret trapdoor, we're going to get some weird lighting from that. And if we come down further, where we have our other ones, you'll see that we're still being blocked. Technically, this would be pitch black because we were actually able to see it when we were up there. But if we go reset the lighting real quick, the cloud, and then go back into our wall, or I mean our token, you'll see it's pitch black behind there. And we even got kind of a pitch black right here because of we're able to see through this wall, but then this wall out here was actually casting kind of a shadow. So you can do cool things like this, but technically what we've created here is a window where we can pass through it. Our vision and sight can pass through it, but sound wouldn't be able to pass through it. So that, I think, actually brings us to our next one. Oh, the ethereal walls. So as you can see here, the ethereal walls block sight and hearing, but don't block motion, or don't. These would kind of be a secret wall that is an illusion, right? So we're running. Oops, that's my ethereal wall right there. I'm actually going to go ahead and use this. I'm not going to keep this here, but you'll see here. Let's pretend like this is a picture on the wall or something. Actually, you know what? Let's do it over the door. So imagine that this doesn't look like a door. So what this does is you'll see that it's acting just like a wall. However, I'm able to pass through it without any issues. And it's both directions. And just to show you, we'll go to player's view, and you'll see the player is able to pass through it. But you'll notice when I go through it, light is being blocked, just like another wall. It's just an illusionary wall is the best way to say it, I think. So that would be your ethereal wall. Once again, I guess what we could do is just go look, and so you can get an idea of what these different things are. So as you can see, light restriction is normal and sight restriction is normal. However, there is no movement restriction and there is no sound restriction. So as I got near this wall, I would be able to hear something, and you can see that the wall direction is set to both, so I can go through it either way. I think we're only going to get through walls because we're already at 30 minutes. I apologize for that, guys. All right, next thing we're going to talk about is doors. So there's only two types of doors, doors and secret doors. The way you can do secret doors, two ways. One is we can come here, click on a door, and whoops, I meant to hold Control. And you can see we have a door. I'm going to do a double door here just to show you. Let go and finish and uncontrol. There we go. So we have a double door here now. And in player view, what a door looks like is there will be a little door icon telling us that we can actually open the door. So if I go into play mode, you'll see we have a door here and we have a door here. And if I had the audio set, we would actually be able to hear a door sound. And you'll see in here, if I right click it, it turns into a locked door, right? So now they're locked. So if I go on the player view, and Joseph here comes up to the door, he clicks on it. Oh, actually you won't be able to hear that because it's not recording that. So it's making a clickety click sound like I'm shaking the door and it's not opening. So I can see here clearly it is a door, but I cannot move it because it's locked. Then when the GM says, okay, you pick the lock, all they have to do then is right click it, and now it becomes an openable, a door that is openable, I guess. So you'll see this one's still locked, clicking it, but this one I can open, and you can see when it opens, it allows light through, and you'll notice it only does it with that proximity. It only lets so much light through. It doesn't give you an infinite line of vision through the door, which is a really cool thing. If we move up to the door, you can see we actually can see a little bit in there. So if we go look at our settings on the door real quick, oops, I need to go into the walls again. And if I click on said door, you'll see here that the door state is opened. We can actually choose what the door sounds like. So we have futuristics. This is all version 12 stuff where you can actually send, you know, if it's a sliding stone door, you can actually kind of do stone or stone on rocks, rolling, grinding, stone on sand kind of stuff. So you can do all these really cool sounds now, even futuristic. You can set the door state here. And the difference, if we go in here, and you can see this door right here, which is locked, shows a little red icon. The green icon is saying that it's open, right? And if we go make another door here, blue means it's a regular door. You can always click on this button right here and it will close every door on a scene. So if you were playing with it and stuff, before your players get there, you can click this and you'll see that now that door is closed. This one's still locked and this door is as it was before. The next one is secret doors, and the difference between that and the other door is it's not viewable. Now you'll notice it's kind of purple, but it's a different purple than our ethereal walls. It's a more, that's kind of a pinkish purple, and this is more purple. And a secret door, which we said we're gonna put right up here. Actually, let's put it behind the logs here. So we're gonna take this wall and move it, say, let's do just one grid space. And I'm gonna, actually, I guess I could just do this. Nope, I'm not in selection mode, that's why. Alright, it doesn't want me to move it the way I want it to. So if I click on the secret door here, this acts just like a wall now. However, when, as the GM, I think it tells you in here. So you can see that if I alt click it, it will close it and open it silently. If I just click it as GM, it will open and close. I can right click it to lock it. I can lock it silently, like if I'm in game and oh crap, I didn't lock that one. I can do that. And I was wondering if it had, so what we can do now, let's go and delete this one. We'll leave this one locked, this one open. Let's go back to our player. And you'll see Joseph comes up here. And as a GM, I can see that this is a secret door. But as a player, it looks just like the continuation of the wall. So unless I actually let them know that this is a secret, not a secret door, or is a secret door, they have no idea. Now, one thing to let you know, if you are putting walls on everything and you're messing with tokens, You always want to reset all the lighting of the whole scene before your players ever come on it. Other words, they will be able to see, you know, anything. Like if this is how it was, even though my players were here, they would be able to see all this because at one point I had a token there and it's been discovered. So always go through and reset that, and you've seen me do that. You go under the lighting, click on the little cloud, and say reset the fog of war. And now if we go in here, you'll see that no longer can I see all that stuff down there. So as a GM, if I'm in wall mode, I can, or if I'm in player mode, I can see that this is a door, and I can, as a GM, do everything that I do with other doors. I can turn it to a locked door, right click again to not lock it, go ahead and open it, and now you'll see if I go to the player mode, the player actually looks like they're actually going to be able to go through a wall. So that's your secret doors. All right, let's move on because we're almost done. So let's go ahead and add some windows now. I think that's the next one. So we did doors, secret doors. Now let's do windows. It used to be that the windows was simply a transparent wall, but you couldn't actually go through it. But windows now actually have that proximity thing set to them. So if we come here and we hold Control and draw a window straight across there, right click to get rid of it. Let's go ahead and add a window right here. There we go. And I think it's only those two little windows. So just to kind of show you what I meant by the proximity thing, if we double click on a window, you'll see that actually is set to proximity, and the furthest it can see when I'm in front of it would be 10 feet. You might have noticed that also with our door, I think, when it was open, maybe? Or maybe that's just default now where it just automatically shows 10 feet because we were standing in the door. So if we come, actually both windows are set. So let's go into player mode real quick, and we'll bring our guy down here. Now I could drag him too as the player, and you'll see I can see out the window, but I can only see 10 feet. So if I'm 5 feet back from the window, now I can only see 5 feet. So there's the 10, 5, and then there's 0. And this will help stop metagaming where, you know, people come and they're way out here and they're just seeing inside a window like you know, they're right next to it. They're able to see everything into the scene. This will make it so that all they're going to see is what you're allowing them to see. Even if you come up to the window, you can only see so far because it's dark outside. The light's only going so far. All right, let's see. I think then we have clone walls. So if I wanted to select this entire table, let's say I had another table was the exact same size, or I had pillars in a map and I was happy with how one turned out, I can select everything, I can hit clone wall, and then I believe I can just move it now. I think I want to grab here. There we go. I don't want to grab the little guys, the little nubs. I want to grab one of the bars. And now, oh, actually that did not work, did it? Hold on. Clone wall. Do I have to? I think now I hit Control V. I could have swore that's how we did this. I know it will like clone settings and stuff like that. Let me just see. So let's see what it, this one doesn't actually give us our thing. So if I, oops, hold on. I'm not in select mode anymore. So if I go to select mode, I hit clone wall. I could have swore I just moved it and it cloned the whole thing. But I think the way I've always done it is I just highlight the whole thing, hit C, and then hit V, and now I have the entire wall cloned. I've never really used this much. I just do Control C, Control V. And that seems to work better for me. So there we go. And then we have, this is snap to grid. This, we already went over, is close all the doors. And this is the one to be careful with. This would delete every single wall on our scene. Still trying to think exactly what would be the best way to simulate this, because you'd want to open it. I mean, I guess you could do a door and a door here, but then you'd have to open them both so they could go through. I'll have to think about the best way to do something like that, to make it more immersive. But there we go. That kind of gives you a rundown of all the walls. So in the next episode, we will do lighting. That one, I imagine, is also going to take a decent amount. Oh, I didn't do any walls here. Let's go ahead and add a couple more walls. I forgot about this one, so we'll go ahead and do that there. This will only take a second. There we go. But yeah, there we go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you learned something. And if you figure out the clone walls, let me know, because I could have swore I've done it before, where you just click it, you highlight everything, you click it. Actually, you know what? I do know what it does. I remember now. So let's say, for example, I'm in, let's double check this. So if I'm in earth mode, and or the terrain mode, and all of a sudden I wanted to make a duplicate of this wall. Let's say I wanted to make it right here, right? But this had settings that we actually did. I didn't remember what they were. If I click the clone wall button, even though right now I'm in the green one, the terrain walls, if I hit clone wall, what that does is sets my mouse to everything. So now if I drag this, it will be that wrong wall. Never mind. Clone wall. Yeah, that didn't work. I will look into it and see if I can remember what on earth clone walls did and how it worked. But everything else was pretty good. Hopefully it was good information for you. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. Click that little notification bell. Join my Discord channel. Tell other people about my channel. You know the spiel. And that is it, my friends. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.